I am so excited to have with me author and blogger KariAnne Wood. And she has a new book coming out in just 2 weeks called So Close to Amazing. Yay, look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. What a beautiful book. I haven't seen the hardcover yet, but when by the Kindle, I can tell those pictures are going to be amazing. So thank you so much.
You're so sweet.
Thank you. Your book was so good. Okay.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
You are like my hero now because I can't do anything. Okay. I'm looking around the house. I'm like, wow, I have bare walls. I am so not good at this stuff. I don't know what happened. I'm 52. I had 6 children. Okay. You have 4. I put their pictures up everywhere.
I think I kind of got good out of necessity because when you don't have a lot of money and you have to decorate your home and you're digging through other people's trash to try to find cute stuff, like you kind of have to learn how to DIY.
Wow. Well, I mean, it's a memoir and it's funny. You are so funny. Okay.
Oh.
I was reading. First of all, I'm going to Dallas tomorrow to visit my children. I have 2 adult children that live in Dallas and 4 grandchildren. So
Awesome.
Where did you live in Texas?
McKinney, which is north of Dallas.
No way, that's where they are.
No, sir. No.
Well, they both just moved. They were in McKinney, and then they moved to Anna. So it's not that far. It's right there. It's a new development that they moved into. And they live really close to each other, which is, scary. But they each have families, and, they hang out all the time. But it's, I love that place. I go there 4 times a year to visit them. So
have you been downtown to the square?
I used to stay in McKinney. First of all, I get confused. Okay, does McKinney have the golf course? Is there a golf course there?
Yep, there's a golf course in McKinney, yep.
Yeah, okay, so my son-in-law used to work at that golf course, so I'm really familiar with that. And then I used to stay at this one hotel that was like this really crazy hotel. But anyway, down in McKinney. I mean, we go to the mall all the time.
Yep. Of course. Of course.
I can't wait to go to the mall.
You never want to stay away from a mall. I mean, come on. It's like the best.
No, that's a great mall, too. We spent a lot of time there.
They've got great shopping in McKinney. But the whole place is super cute. I mean, it's where I grew up my whole life. So I've watched it grow. Yeah, for sure. It's a lot bigger.
My son-in-law did, too. He's a lot younger than us. But, he grew up there, too. So anyway, so we have that in common, but I mean, your memoir is just so funny. It is so, I'm telling you, so my daughter that I'm going to see tomorrow, I was reading her passages because, we live in, my adult children, okay, they don't know what it was like to be me and in the decorating world because now there's Pinterest. Okay.
Yes.
So whenever my one daughter-in-law, she's just a Pinterest nut. Like she everything is Pinterest. I'm going to give her when I see her. I'm going to give her your book. Like I'm going to show her because
it's right here.
I know. Yeah. I'm gonna hook her up because she does the whole thing. She goes to garage sales. She goes to yard sales. She goes to the thrift stores, and then she takes them home and strips everything and paints it, and she will love your book. So
that's the best. That's the best. There's nothing better than a multi-family yard sale sign for sure.
And in their little neighborhood, they have garage. It's crazy. I don't know what's with Texas, but their garage sales are like nonstop over there.
I know. Kentucky, we kind of have okay garage sales, but we actually have great, by the side of the road where people just throw stuff out of their truck or whatever, and you can go find barn doors and chain link fences and all kinds of fun stuff. So, yeah, they're both great places to live, but for sure, trash is my best friend.
I know, when you were talking about some of the things you found, I was cracking up. And I'm so happy that you showed the picture of the window pane calendar.
I know. That's actually one of my favorite chapters. And I wish you could have seen that thing going down the road. I mean, it literally was a parade. Huge. It was so funny.
Huge. And I lived in an old house one time, and it was charming. It had its things like, the electric was bad, and, we had to put AC in it. Everything's, when we moved in, we're like, we don't need AC. I'm in Pennsylvania. We don't need AC. It's not that hot. And then, come July 4th, I'm like, we got to call the guy. I cannot. I can't do it. It was too humid. All the furniture was wet. from the humidity. So
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
But I do love old places. Like I love that. I mean, I take that over a modern, just built development home any day. They have so much
100%. Well, I mean, I think the thing is, I think the house has, it's lived its life, and it has stories. Oh, I'm really sorry about that.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. I can hear your cute little voice. Now you're like, who's calling me?
Yes. That's what we call a landline, like old-fashioned phone that's plugged into the wall. It's crazy.
I don't even
But
have
we live
one.
in the country. That's what happens.
That's what happens.
But anyway, so I definitely think the thing about older homes and part of the reason why I wrote the book and tell the stories of the house is because the house really, I don't know, it just talked to me. It spoke to me, and I'm so glad that we found it and that kind of we found each other. And I think one of the main themes of the book is I set out, my husband and myself and our family, we set out to kind of save the house. But in the end, it was the house and the people here and all the lessons that we learned that really saved us.
I love the lessons. Like I loved your little, and I'm sure in the book it'll be a little bit different, but on the pages, like you had little sayings and I love like those life lessons because, you forget. You just forget, and it's like every time you had one of them, I was like, right. It's like we got to be reminded every once in a while of everything that's going right and where our faith has taken us, and I love that.
I think one of my favorite parts of the book is I love the whole like total aside because that's how I talk. Like in real life, when I'm talking to people, I'll be right in the middle of a story and I'll go, oh, wait, did you know that I found the most amazing nail polish color? Like, it's awesome. and they're like, wait, hold on. That doesn't match your story. I'm like, it's a total aside. It's a total aside.
I know. I loved your total aside. That's why I'm saying your book is so funny. And then, so I found you on Facebook, and what caught me was just that you looked so cute and your book, and I was like, oh my gosh, but I never expected you to say yes, because I was like, oh, she's going to be busy, book tour, everything when books are just coming out. So I was so happy when you responded. But
no, I was so happy that you asked me. I think my favorite thing is to talk, and my second favorite thing is to talk with friends, and my third favorite thing is to talk about my book. So like, hello, it's like the perfect meeting of all three things.
Well, okay, so when I was in my younger life, I was a military wife, and my first marriage was to my high school sweetheart. Got married, had 3 children, but we lived in right outside of San Diego. It was a little further north. Okay, he was a Marine, and I was real like the stories that you talked about. It's like I never thought I'd wake up, and the same thing. Like we got married, he left. I'd have a baby, he'd leave. It was just nonstop. And then we moved to Andrews Air Force Base when I was pregnant with my third child, who was my first daughter. And I couldn't have the baby on base because the Persian Gulf War was happening. So I had to drive to a hospital up to where I lived, which was like 4 hours away all the time, and which was crazy. So when you were talking about it, I was like, I know, I was pregnant during the Persian Gulf War. Well,
I think we need to give a shout out to all military personnel and military husbands and wives everywhere, because I feel like people don't understand the sacrifice that goes on the home front. And it was a challenge. I mean, it was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done was get married and then watch your husband, sail off. And
how old were you when you got married?
I was young. I was 21 when I got married, and my husband was 22.
And I live in Pennsylvania, and I moved to California to be with him, and then he left. And, you wake up and you're like, I got to go get a job, because I got to get a job.
Well, and being a Marine, too, I mean, oh my gosh, he's on the front lines. I mean,
he worked on airplanes, so he wasn't, but he was gone all the time.
Yeah.
Our marriage, and, out of everybody in our little unit, there are only one couple that stayed together out of like 20. I mean, and whatever. I mean, we didn't, and it was, he kept getting moved and moved and moved, and you gotta have the right. I don't know. We did not have what it took, but it took a lot. I mean, when we moved to Andrews, we thought he would be home more, and he was gone more. and it was
Yeah.
really difficult. But I, living, and then I had my first two sons went into the military, so
They followed in their dad's footsteps.
They did.
Wow, what a legacy!
Yeah, now they're vets and they have families, and so they're not in it anymore. But I had to go, so I went through the military wife, and then I was a military mom, and my one son did go to Iraq, and so.
Oh, I can't even. Oh, you're so brave, and he's so brave. I can't even imagine that. Oh my goodness.
Not fun years. But I can tell you, being the military wife was a little easier wasn't easier on the relationship, but the military mom thing is definitely a different, thing. You think you know, but you don't know anything. But,
yeah.
So when I was reading that, I was like so relating, because it's like, yeah, how much of our life do we plan?
Exactly.
And that's what I got as the overall theme of your book, is like every time we think we have a plan. And then you have twin daughters, which was so cute, because I always wanted twins, and 6 pregnancies, no twins. So then I saw their pictures on your blog, and they're so adorable, and
they are. People always ask me, like, what's it like having twins? And I always say, it's double the work. It's double the challenge, but it's so double the blessing and double the fun. Like, those little girlies, they are literally my heart. They're adorable and wonderful, and just, oh my gosh, they're so much fun. And they're super funny, which then, makes me laugh, because when they're funny, and then and of course I think they're hilarious, and sometimes they even mean to be hilarious. I think they're not even trying to be, and they just are. So yeah. It's total blessing.
It's such a different. I mean, I have 2 daughters, but they're 4 years apart. It's a different dynamic, with them. But my second son is named Zachary.
Really?
Yep.
When my Zach was little, he had a zebra named Zorro. That was a stuffed zebra named Zorro. And the other day I was cleaning out the attic, and I found Zorro, like a little worse for the wear, a little bit, one of his eyes was kind of, falling off and everything. But oh my gosh, I was like, I'm going to save this for Zach's kids one day, to pass Zorro down to the next generation.
Well, I mean, what you did, you pack up your family, and you just decide, like, we're going to go. What made you decide that?
Well, maybe we weren't in our right minds. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I feel like, we were sitting there in church, and we had been feeling for a long time. I mean, I love McKinney. I love that whole area. I love the North Dallas area, but it is a lot of busy. There's a whole lot of busy going on. Right. And when you have that much busy, and life is overwhelming, and you have these kids, and, there's so much competition with kids nowadays, and I just wanted to move to a place where we could breathe, and the kids could see the stars, and, they could run, and, as far as they wanted to run without a city block getting in their way. And so God just laid it on our heart that that's what we, really that's what we wanted to do. And it wasn't until we were sitting in chapter 1, the book starts off with us sitting in the middle of the church. Now, I am redecorating it a little bit in my mind, because wondering if, like, blue shag carpeting was really a good choice for them. But I was trying not to listen to the sermon, because he was literally preaching it for me. Have you ever been in a situation where you're looking around and you're like, is this just here for me? Are they talking to me? And that was literally the situation. I mean, I felt like the pastor was talking directly. He was talking directly to me and to my husband. And so it was at that moment that we really consciously made the decision to really step out on faith. And it's scary. To step out on faith is really scary. Yeah. But God was with us. And I think probably there's different life lessons. The book kind of chronicles different life lessons I've learned. But I think probably one of my favorite takeaways, and I touched on this earlier, is that when I moved here, or when my family and I moved here, I remember thinking, like, I'm from the big city, I'm from Dallas, and I'm going to teach them, like, I'll show the community, I'm going to bring all my decorating tips, and I'm going to show them, how we do it in the big city. And I thought that God had brought us to where we are now for the lessons that we were going to teach the people that are here. But in reality, he brought us here for the lessons they were going to teach us. Right. And, 10 years into the journey, I count my blessings every single day.
Well, it's funny because I think any type of scenario like that, we always think, and I'm a homeschooling mom. Okay, I've homeschooled my children, and
That's awesome.
I always think like I'm teaching them, but they are so teaching me. And my youngest son, I only have one child left that I'm homeschooling. He's 14. And, my kids think I'm crazy, though, because I'm always like, so what else do you want to read for school? They're like, Mom, it's August. I'm like, I know. We can start picking stuff out, and it's so exciting.
Plan ahead. That's awesome.
But really, I've learned more from teaching them, from homeschooling them than they could have ever learned from me. We always think that we're the ones, but they're the ones that teach us, and that's another thing. But I loved like your lesson on the mustard seed, because I use that as a mom. I use that all the time. I'm always like, and they think I'm crazy, but I'm like, all we need is this big, and it's like, but I think I have big faith, but no, because if you only had this much, look what you could do, and
Well, and I think there's a great scripture. I heard a devotional on this one time, and I've never forgotten it, and it was that, when we put on the armor of God and we stand there, and, there we are, and we put on the breastplate of righteousness, and we put on, I think it's the helmet of salvation, and, we put on everything, and then God doesn't tell us to do anything. God tells us to stand and let him do it. We put on the armor, we prepare ourselves in readiness, and then he does the rest. And that's a lot like how this jump was. I mean, we just said, I think it was the conscious decision in our hearts to like say, okay, like, when you're on the high dive and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. And we were like, I was so scared. And all these questions come into your mind, like, how are we going to do it? How will the money work out? How are we going to sell our house? Are we going to buy a business? What do we do? What about our kids? Will the kids be okay? What are the school districts like? What's the land like? What is Kentucky like as a state?
Right.
A zillion questions. And we didn't have to worry about those questions because God already had the answers to every single question. So yeah, it was, I think it's been, when I look back now, kind of through the eyes of, looking back.
Yeah.
I think I cannot believe we did that. But at the time, it just seemed so natural to step out on faith. But in hindsight, that's the word I was looking for. Hindsight, I'm like, what were we thinking?
Right, exactly. And, there's a really good song, I don't know if you know it, by B.B. Winans. Do you know him? B.B. and C.C. Winans? I love that.
Yep.
He has a song called Stand. And whenever I get into a situation that I'm like, I need to be doing something, I should be doing, and I, like when my sons were in the service, you can't do anything. There's nothing you can do. I used to listen to that all the time. And so when you said that, I was like, yes, that's the song I listen to all the time when I don't know what else, because we as moms, we think, well, we got to do something. We got to do something, and when you can't do anything and you're like, wow, there's nothing I can do.
Well, sometimes I remember thinking, this is all I'm doing is I'm just standing. But sometimes there's a chapter in the book where I talk about where I was trying to get the house ready and I was trying to paint and I was trying to actively do everything because I was like, I'm going to go ahead and make my own way. Like, I'm going to, do my own thing and get everything ready to move. And I'm going to do all of that. And I painted, like there were 22 closets in the house. And I paint the doors and molding of every one because I, all that nervous energy that you have. So I paint every single one. And then God led these people right to our door. We never put the house in the market. They show up and they buy the house. And then the great irony is she repainted everything to match her decor. And I was like, okay, God, well, I could have saved myself a few, maybe it was good for my muscles though,
Yeah, it was good workout painting. Okay, so tell everybody, I want to pick out certain parts because I want everybody to read this, okay? You can't, I never like to give things away because I want everybody to experience.
Hey, guess what? Me too. I want everybody to read it.
Right, and I don't want to give away too much, but there's this one story in there that I just loved, and it was your pot roast story.
Oh.
And I was like, she has to tell the pot roast story. I'll just give them that. I'll give them that story.
So well, this is all the stories. That one, oh my gosh. Okay, so
because I could see myself thinking that. I mean, I could so see myself thinking that way.
Okay. So I have to preface the story. It has to have a little preface.
Okay.
I am not a good cook. Like, I can decorate like nobody's
you can
business.
Decorate a kitchen like I've never seen anybody decorate a kitchen. You just don't want to cook.
Well, that's the thing. That's why a kitchen's so easy to decorate, because it's not decorated for utility. It's decorated for cuteness, I mean, so I'm not very good at all with the cooking. So, but one day my husband had told me that he really wanted a roast. I mean, I think we're in the country. He's like, we don't have restaurants around. Is there any way that you could fix a roast? I thought, oh gosh, like a roast? That sounds super challenging. Here I am. I don't even know. I was 40 at the time or something. I've never cooked a roast in my entire life, ever. So I go to the things where all good roasts go to live, which I figured in my mind was Walmart. So I go to Walmart and I stand in front of this giant meat selection. I mean, there's seriously like more meat at Walmart. And I am standing there and I was looking for roast. I thought you just went and got a roast. I didn't know there was like chuck roast and pot roast and this roast and this roast. And I was like, that is a lot of roast going on. And so a random lady was walking by and I go, excuse me, ma'am, can you just tell me which of these if you were going to cook a roast, like which of these? And she picks out I think it was a chuck roast, I'm not sure, but it was good. And she showed me where the fat and how to select a good one. And then she walked me, I think I just must have looked super pitiful, because she walks me over to like the baby carrots, and she gets baby carrots, and she gets potatoes, and she gets, I think it was onion soup mix or something like that. I can't even remember, to put in there. And I'm like, okay, like this is a sign. So we come home. She goes, use your crock pot. Your crock pot's your friend. I'm like, all right. And so I put it all in according to her directions. And then I sit back and wait. And I think, okay, like how long do I have to wait for? Like what? I didn't know that part of it. And I kept lifting the lid to check. Oh, and it smelled like so good. And so I waited about 5 or 6 hours, and I thought, I guess it's done. Like, it smells like it's done. And so I cut it open, but it looked like pink inside. It didn't look like a roast that was done. It kind of looked pink, and I thought, I don't know if this is done. So now I'm still not sure, even now, why I did this or why I thought it was a good idea, and I would not recommend other people do it, but this is what I did. I put the roast onto a platter. And I covered up with foil, and then I take it to Garden Club. Like, I don't know why. I think in my mind, well, people at Garden Club, I mean, they can garden. I'm sure they can cook too, and they probably would know. And so I literally walk into the Garden Club, and I'm waiting in the back, and I put the platter on the thing, and I think in my mind, oh, well, I'll just wait for a break. We were talking about container gardening, I think. I'll take a break in the general talk, and they thought I brought cookies because I come in with a platter with foil. And so some lady said to me, well, what is this? And I'm like, are y'all ready? And I pull back and there's a roast just sitting there, and like everyone, no one says anything. Like, people are staring at the roast, and they look at me, and then I look at the roast, and all of a sudden it didn't seem like a very good idea at that moment in time. And I look at the roast, I kind of look down, and I think, well, where do I go from here? Like, what do I do? And a lady in the back says, I'll never forget this little old lady, and she said, excuse me, dear, just for the record, this is not cooking club. This is gardening club. And so that kind of broke the ice, and then everyone started laughing. And eventually they said, oh, it looks like it's done. And we snacked on it there and my husband never got any of it. So awesome. There is and you know what? I've never made a roast since then. That was too stressful. It was too, I still go to gardening club, but I have not cooked a roast.
And I'm thinking, okay, so you were thinking, well, I just got to show it to somebody to tell me what
yes! Doesn't that make sense? Like, looking at it objectively, you just want a good person to come by and look at your roast and see if it's done. I thought, well, we could just all look at it, and they could tell me if it was done or not.
I know. Then I was like, what are you going to do with it if they tell you it's not done? Like, because you can't go and
I don't
go
know.
back and you can't put it
okay, these are not thoughts that I thought it was. I just thought it seemed like the light at the end of the tunnel for some reason was Garden Club. Like, right. If I just could get my roast at Garden Club, then all would be well.
That's so awesome.
The people, actually, one of the ladies that is, like, I'm really close to now was at that Garden Club meeting, and she still does not let me forget about it. She was like, what were you thinking in your mind?
That's
like,
what
I
I'm telling
wasn't.
everybody. Like, this is how funny your book is. Okay, you have tons and tons of these stories. So,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And I think in the point of the book, I think the overall concept of the book, which that's the perfect segue because the book is called So Close to Amazing.
Right.
And I wrote it because, I mean, I'm just going to be straight. There are days when, like, I am amazing. And not like a little amazing, like the Mount Everest of amazing. Like, my hair looks awesome. My lipstick looks great. I'll have amazing nail polish on. I mean, my house is picked up. And then there are days when I'm randomly putting too much soap in my dishwasher and it explodes all over my laundry room. And I go to meet with the publisher and I realize my tennis shoes don't match. And I trim my bangs when I should not have opted for that, I mean, and I think that's why I wrote the book, because to celebrate that imperfection, because I wake up every day and I try. And I try to bring amazing to the table. And I think that's why I went first. That's why I'm telling my stories first, to encourage other people and help other people that understand that, like, hey, perfection is giantly overrated. And there's such beauty and joy and acceptance in the imperfection. If we just all embrace a little more imperfection and a little more bangs and like an eyebrow that I overplucked, I mean, I'm just saying, life is a beautiful thing.
And I always say to my daughter, and my daughter has 2 little boys, and then my sons have children, and I always say to them, it would have bothered, like, I'm so happy I didn't have Facebook when I was raising my kids, when they were all little, because you see these pictures, they're at the park, these kids look beautiful, their little girls' hairs are, like, I would have been one of those insane parents, like, okay, we cannot leave the house. Because
I know.
they're constantly, it's always bad with the mom thing. I mean, that's always a bad, like guilt, mom guilt, like I didn't change out of my pajamas today. I didn't, like you always have that mom. But if I had to go onto Facebook and be like, oh, look what she did today. I did not do that today.
I know. But truthfully, and I write this on the book, the book too. Online, everyone's skinny. Online, everyone is wearing like size 4 velvet pants. I mean, that's the truth. Like online, everyone is showing everyone their very best sides. Like they show the very best. I mean, not a lot of people go in there and go, y'all are not going to believe what happened to me today. Most of the time they're like, I'm at a birthday party, or here I am, or I'm cruising the Riviera, or I just stopped by the Bahamas on my way to Hobby Lobby. I mean, that is like, that's, and I think people do that because they want other people to think highly of them. And, but I also think sometimes if we just step back and realize that we're comparing ourselves, we're comparing where we are to somebody else's very best.
Right. It's not real. And my perfect illustration of that is one time I saw this girl I knew and her husband, and they were like on vacation, taking pictures, Facebook, right? And she called me, or she texted me, and she's like, can we have lunch? Sure. I go to lunch. She's like, yeah, so we're getting a divorce. I'm like, what? The picture? What about the pictures? I saw the pictures. You look so happy. What happened? But that is like, that's why you can't live by that. You can't, and I try not to judge by that anymore anyway, at all. Like, I just look at pictures and go, oh, that's cute, But I would have been one of those moms that would have tried comparing. So I'm happy that it wasn't. That it wasn't.
We all do it. I mean, I do it now. I mean, I'm always. I mean, if you, it's kind of like, when you're feeling bad about yourself and then you look at Facebook and everyone looks perfect and you're like, like, what is wrong with me? I don't have perfect eyebrows, I mean, and I think that's why I wrote the book, because I just wanted to celebrate.
Oh, you were so honest.
Imperfection.
Yeah, and that's what I loved about it. And then, so when I saw you and I went on your blog, okay, what an amazing blogger you are. And I just want everybody to know that, that's the thing. It's like, you show some of the pictures in your book, but they need to go to your blog because you have so many cool, like, crafts and things that in my next life, I promise I will do. But and then I saw you posted that you got a job recently for a magazine, right?
Yes, I did.
I was so happy. I was like,
that's so awesome. I'm so excited. I just announced it today, so that's so awesome. I got a job I'm the newest decorating columnist for Romantic Homes. And Romantic Homes is being completely overhauled. It's like a new look. They created this beautiful new look for the, it's fresh and beautiful and wonderful. And one of my dear friends is the editor. And so she had asked me, hey, is this something you'd be interested in? I'm like, hello, decorating, hello, advice, my two favorite things. So, yeah, I just, actually, my first column comes out in the October issue, which is going to be on newsstands shortly.
I mean, could you have imagined your life right now? I mean, here you are. You've got that. You've got a book coming out. I mean, you've got, you've got your fan base of your blog. And I mean, you are just living the life. And I'm so happy that all this good stuff is coming your way. Because
you are amazing to tell me that. And it's so sweet. And I can't even believe it. But I will tell you this. And I want you to remember this when you go, wow, she's a decorating columnist, or she's doing this, or she's doing it. All started with keeping it real. Because when I started the blog, so 5 years ago, I decided I was going to write a blog, but I was going to write like a really fancy decorating blog with like super fancy decorating advice. And I was going to tell people like, oh, you should always combine textures in your home, and reclaimed wood goes perfectly with burlap during the holiday season, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And so I had a photographer come out to the house because I couldn't take pictures at all. Now I take all the pictures on the blog, but at the time I did not take any of I had like a camera that you like throw away.
Right.
And so he came out to the house, he took all these incredible pictures and he sent them to me, and I was like, dude, like these are amazing. Like I cannot wait to show the world my house, me, myself, and how fancy I am. And I go to write the very first post. So there I am, brand new blogger, first post ever. And there was my library. There's my beautiful Christmas tree. Here's my grain sack stockings, I think, hung by the fire, And there in the middle of the picture are these gigantic plastic Walmart Christmas tree feet, where I had forgotten to put my Christmas tree skirt, and the feet are like with a wide angle lens, are like stretching all the way into the middle. And I was like, oh, how did I forget a Christmas tree skirt in the picture? Like, what am I going to do? I can't be fancy. I can't tell people about how to decorate if I can't even cover up my own plastic feet. Like, what am I doing? And so I went with the whole, oh, well, my name's KariAnne, and sometimes I decorate for Christmas and I forget my tree skirt. Like, will you be my friend? That's kind of the whole, which it's really good that I went with that shtick, because when I put up pictures of the dining room, there was like the nativity, Mary, Joseph, Jesus, and with the crèche and everything, and then pumpkins, white pumpkins. Super great. Where I had left them, and they were white, so they kind of blend in with the dishes, until I realized, I zoom in on the picture, I'm like, that's a pumpkin next to Joseph's head. Like, oh my gosh. And so in a way, praise the Lord that it all worked out like that, because I think way more people would identify with that than super fancy decorating. But that's where it all started, with those plastic Christmas tree feet, is where this whole journey started.
Yeah.
So it's been amazing. I mean, I like literally, I can't believe I'm lucky enough to get to speak with you. I can't believe all this incredible stuff it's just such a total blessing.
I think that's true too, because even when the kids were little, like I'd try to dress them up alike and, try to make them all perfect. And then by the time we got to church or family or wherever, of course the girls' hair's all falling apart and the boys look like, and I think that is the humbling thing, because if it all worked out the way we thought, like this picture perfect people and our house is perfect and like, that's not real life, because it isn't. It's not perfect, and the kids aren't perfect, and, it's just the way it's supposed to be. So, I love that you keep it real. I love your stories. They are amazing. I can't wait, because it's just the beginning for you, KariAnne. Just the beginning. So.
Well, you are so sweet.
I can't wait to see what else is coming your way. And I'm gonna be on your blog, because I like to look at other people doing cool things. I'm gonna be like, you go, look at that. That is amazing.
Well, if I'm ever in Pennsylvania, I'm bringing a DIY. We're going to DIY, okay?
Yes, if you ever come here for a book signing, I definitely want to see you. So
Oh, that would be awesome.
I am so happy that I got to know you. I'm so happy I got to talk to you, and I'm not going to say goodbye because I know we will be talking again. And I can't wait to get the hardcover because, like I said, I got it in the Kindle form, and I just know those pages are going to be amazing. The pictures, look at it. Yeah,
it's coming your way. And here's with this beautiful nail polish right here.
Well, you celebrate. You have a great 2 weeks for that book release, and I will, I will keep watching your posts on Facebook, and I will link all of your links. They can find you anywhere, and they can go right to your book, and and buy the book. Buy the book.
I so appreciate this. You don't even know. Thank you so much.
Yes. Have a great evening, KariAnne.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.